Hi guys, my name is Marcel and today you're gonna learn how to draw like a sir. And for today I've been thinking about uploading a second part to my how to draw poses video. Because when I upload my artworks to social media, I get asked all the time about how I manage to draw dynamic poses. And with the right pose, even something as casual as holding a card can look exciting. Because that's how you advance. Using knowledge about posing, and perspective, and combining it. So this video is all about foreshortening. In case you don't know, foreshortening is when something looks smaller, bigger or deformed due to the viewer's perspective. So this sentence, in one word, is called foreshortening. I can still remember struggling a lot with this as a kid because no matter what, my art always looked flat and 2D. Back in the day there were no YouTube tutorials about drawing, but that's why I'm here to help you guys with it. Just as a disclaimer before we start, this topic isn't exactly the easiest. That means I'm going to show you how it works, but you still need to practice it. It's not gonna work out overnight or something. Though that's kinda obvious. I mean, you also don't watch a video about doing a backflip and then complain that you can't immediately do a backflip yourself. TLDR, I can show you how it works, but you are the one who needs to put in the effort to learn it. So we're starting with something easy. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Right after I washed my hands. Need to take care of that first. Let's start with an easy practice as a warm-up. We're gonna draw a tube. I think that's basically the easiest example to start off with. Don't worry, we're advancing to more difficult examples soon enough. Let's say you wanna draw this tube in a foreshortened perspective, kinda like this. How I would approach this is by drawing the start and the end point of the object. And now all that's left is to connect both shapes. And that's pretty much it. The most important thing you need to keep in mind here is that the object that's further away is smaller. And yes, that means that the one that's facing towards us is bigger. At least that's how it works with simple shapes like this one here. Always check if the lines meet up at a vanishing point so you can tell if your drawing makes logical sense. Just watch out for vanishing points in your real life. Once you are aware of them, you basically notice them everywhere. If you want to, you can push the foreshortening a bit further. Instead of just drawing two circles that differ a bit in size, you can draw two circles that have a big size difference. That way the perspective looks a lot more dynamic. You can play around a bit with it, just keep in mind the ending point needs to be the smaller one. But this here is a very easy shape, so how about for the next example we take it up a notch. And we do that with an object like, we'll take a water bottle that's, not sponsored by product placement. This bottle's gonna be a bit more challenging because it's not just one plain shape, since its top part changes a bit. In this instance, it would help to mentally divide the bottle in smaller geometrical shapes. That's also how I approach my motifs, even when I'm drawing humans. So yeah, just mentally divide it into multiple geometrical shapes. So now you know how many guidelines you'll need. If you were paying attention at the beginning of the video, you know that the circle at the end needs to be smaller than the one facing towards us. At least that goes for one simple shape. And now we add the third circle guideline. I really don't know exactly how big or small these circles have to be in relation to one another, but that doesn't matter since none of my viewers are ever gonna find out. Haha, but don't read this part out loud. Wait, what? Anyway, I connected, like we did before. And that's also why you can pencil in the shape of the object a bit, add some details if you wanna. Oh my, just look at the clock. I think it's time for a pop quiz. You sound like Adolf Hitler.
Wer hat das gesagt?
Now, pop quiz, let's say you don't only want to draw this water bottle, but also a, very brand neutral label together with it. You have to divide it not once, but several times. That way you know where the circle guidelines need to be. And if you did everything correctly like you did before, then you have your brand neutral water bottle. And I'm not getting sued over it, thank you. But in case you still struggle with drawing in the third dimension, I found a neat little exercise online. I came up with an exercise myself that you can practice drawing 3D with. You basically just draw a bunch of circles that vary in size. Your goal will be to connect them by drawing a tube. So like you learned before in this video, you start with the biggest one since that's the closest to you. And then you connect the circles one after another. The biggest one comes first, the smallest one comes last. Practicing like this could help you drawing in 3 dimensions a lot better. Now those were some neat tips for beginners, but I know exactly what you guys are thinking right now. Damn, that's a nice channel, I need to subscribe so I can watch more of those videos in the future. And you are correct with that, but you also may want to know how you could apply this knowledge to more advanced motives, like an actual human body. And I will show you that right now. But in order to foreshorten a human body, you first gotta know how to draw a human body. I've got some tutorials on my channel, please consider checking them out if you want to know how to draw humans, because you can't draw a foreshortened arm if you don't even know how to draw an arm in the first place. But enough of that, let's get right into more advanced stuff by foreshortening human bodies. For simplicity's sake, we're gonna take a human body and break it apart into its geometrical shapes. So, in case you want to draw an arm, just like I did in my Yu-Gi-Oh fan art, I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it. The circles I drew as guidelines are representing the shoulder, the elbow, and the wrist of the arm. There's an important thing you need to keep in mind when planning your pose. The more these circles overlap, the more foreshortened and 3D your pose looks. But if those circles are further apart, the pose looks flatter and a lot more 2D. And now you need to apply your knowledge of basic human proportions. You know, how the wrist is the smallest part, the elbow is a bit wider, and so on. So, like I said in the beginning of the video, I drew some circles as guidelines and then connected them to the basic shape of an arm. And now all that's left is to add all the muscles and details. You might know most of those muscles from my anatomy video, but maybe I'll need to make another video on how to draw arms as well. Maybe I will in the future. Anyway, point is, there's no trick or shortcut involved here. All of this is experience and practice. The most important thing is always your basic shapes and proportions have to be correct for this to work. Details are a neat little extra here. And yes, this also goes for things like drawing hands or fingers. It honestly doesn't really matter. With enough experience and practice, you can foreshorten basically everything. But that's also the catch, there's no shortcut or secret technique to get around this. However, there are anatomy puppets made of wood, some people use them as a reference. I don't really have any experience with those, but some people get a really good use out of them. Or you could just use 3D models as a reference, this also got more popular lately. I myself still stick to the old school method of drawing by using reference photos. I can't recommend this enough, because when you want to draw an arm, what better reference is there than an actual real-life arm? You can find help basically everywhere, you just gotta seek it out. You guys know the drill by now. My tutorials are a lot of work, if you couldn't tell by watching, so I would appreciate if you guys would support them in any way you can. Liking, commenting and subscribing are free. And of course, there's also a lot more tutorials on my channel that you can watch if you wanna, but there is one thing I still need to announce, because I will be releasing my first ever art book in winter 21. It's gonna contain watercolor art, Copic art, fan art, original stuff and lots of more things. And if this English channel continues to grow, I would also consider shipping it to other countries like the USA. I'll keep you guys updated on my Instagram, which is completely in English, but you can also follow me on other platforms if you want. Thanks for watching, I'll be continuing working on my art book right now, and I'll see you guys on my next video here on my channel, Drawlikeasir. Bye. By the way, soap was super helpful. Can't recommend soap enough.